This was the barbecue stand for Steph's family for many, many years. It's mostly Jarrah with probably some sausage fat and maybe a bit of spilled propane in it. I'm going to use this timber that I've been lugging around for years now to add a kind of a fun, interesting little challenge to this snare build that I've been picking away at. Also, now I'm a real YouTube maker. I'm doing a voiceover instead of just showing you stuff.
Welcome to this video. I'm going to be cutting the angles on the staves for a new snare drum and then gluing them up essentially. The glue up part is the same as the first video in this series. The angles are better than the ones in that one because they will be correct because of the handy 6-degree jig I made last week. I've tweaked the design of the shell a little bit. This shell is now going to be part of a snare drum for a customer who kind of got hosed by some greasy dude on eBay. The customer liked the look of the alternating timbers, and I do have some Jarrah lying around, so I thought it might be kind of fun to just mix the two together. When I milled up the Jarrah, it ended up being a lot thinner than the Tasmanian Oak is, so that created a whole new level of complexity to the actual glue up of the shell itself. But it wasn't too bad, you know. I was able to handle it by essentially gluing them up in pairs, and then the pairs into 6s, and then 6s into 12s, and blah, 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 blah. Right? Anyway, you'll see when we get there.
We are dry fit. I haven't actually glued it up yet, but it should be an interesting challenge to get it round. Because they're different, the staves are different thicknesses. But all the seams are all closed up perfectly, and that jig over there works so brilliantly. This particular setup works really well in that the head on the clamp is swivelly bit there, so it can actually take the angle, and then you put the tape down, right? If these individual staves were all the same thickness, this kind of wouldn't be an issue. I'd just be able to lay them out like usual, but you know, doing them up into pairs and then in the tray there, doing those 3 pairs into 6s just made it so much easier. any glue up, the prep is by far the most important part, right? The more time you spend getting things just right before any glue comes into play with anything, the better off you're gonna be. I don't know why I got out all the clamps. Ew, gross. Look at the hatband. Ugh, there's probably some weird, microscopic culture happening in there. Maybe I'm their god. Probably time for a new hat. If anybody wants to send me a hat, you can just reach out. I would be very appreciative. This hat's gross. I think it needs to be hung on the wall and retired. Yeah, everything from here on out is pretty much the same as in the first one. The only thing I will add, though, is that if you do have a glu-bot, make sure you clean it out more often than I do mine. That thing was pushing out cookie dough. It was gross. Finally, the secret to getting this right is to just put just enough pressure to hold it together. Too much pressure will push the joints open.
So there you have it, one snare drum shell glued up, ready to be turned round. I'm gonna let it sit in my office for a couple days. It's really crazy hot in the workshop, so I'm a little bit worried about it. It should be fine, but there's a chance that it could not be. Yeah. So in the next video, we're gonna make it round on the outside. That ought to be fun. Stick around. If it's your first time here, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I'm Schinbein, and I will see you when I see you.